Ohai. Esztergom, the city in the north of Hungary located on the southern coast of Danube. The river forms border with Slovakia in this place, and on the opposite coast there is the Slovak twin city of Esztergom. Esztergom, the important cultural and religious center of the country, the residence of the Archbishop Esztergomsky carrying a title of the Primate of Hungary. Till 2012 in Esztergom the Hungarian Constitutional Court was located. The population -28412 people. 2014. The city is located approximately in 50 kilometers to the northwest from Budapest. In Esztergom from Budapest the railroad and also the highway along the right coast of Danube conducts. The city is connected by regular bus and railway communication with Budapest and the neighboring cities. Time of away by train and the bus to Budapest a little more than an hour. To the Slovak city of Esztergom on other coast of Danube Eszter connects Maria Valery Bridge. Esztergom, one of the most ancient cities of Hungary. Celts were the first famous residents of this settlement. At the time of Romans there was a strengthened settlement under the name Salvio Mansio here. According to some data exactly here the emperor-philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote the main work, the book Reflections. After great resettlement of the people, the German tribes and Avars, and later, the Slavs who christened the Roman settlement of Esztergom that became a basis for the modern name of the city which is at an important crossing through Danube subsequently sank on these lands. Esztergom became one of the main fortresses of the Natransky Principality in Great Moravia. After arrival the Magyar at the beginning of the 10th century, Esztergom became several decades later the residence of the Grand Duke Géza until the 12th century of one of residences of the Hungarian kings. Since 10 and middle 13th centuries Esztergom was the center of economic, political and religious life of the country, her actual capital. In 976 Géza's son who accepted at a baptism a name István and became history as István Svájtó was born here. In 1001 he was crowned in Esztergom. In the period of his birth he was educated of the same name and Esztergomskoi's episcopacy which till the 18th century corresponded to today's Slovakia and represented the main church province of the kingdom. The Esztergomsky archbishop possessed a title of the Primate of Hungary. In the 13th, 14th centuries the city endured several invasions. In the middle of the 13th century of Mongols, in 1304 armies of the Czech king Wenceslas III. However the city was quickly restored and throughout the 14th, 15th centuries felt rough enthusiasm. In the city the royal palace and street Adalbert's cathedral were built, public hospitals functioned, pavements were paved by a stone. Between 1543 and 1683 the city was a part of the Ottoman Empire, and the residence of the Esztergomsky archbishop was a perennial Sena in Trnava and Bratislava. Turks destroyed cathedral, the royal palace and the majority of buildings of Esztergom. After release from Turks the city was almost devastated and had to be built up and become populated in a new way. Among the arriving settlers was many Slovaks and Germans, but they were quickly enough assimilated by the Hungarian population. In 1708 Esztergom was announced by the Royal Free City. In 1869 construction of the Basilica of St. Adalbert, which became the biggest temple of Hungary, is finished. During World War II, the well-known Esztergomski bridge through Danube was blown up by the German troops. Up to 2001, bridges between Esztergom and Shurov was absent. Between both cities there was only a ferry traffic. In 2000, the restoration of the bridge, which came to the end a year later, began. Sites: St. Adalbert's Basilica. The grandiose building of an Esztergomski Basilica, the largest temple of Hungary. A basilica, the third historical temple located on the hill on the abrupt coast of Danube. The Romance temple built in government of the King István Esztergom was destroyed at the beginning of the 14th century. The second temple stood from 14th to the 16th century here and was completely destroyed by Turks. The modern temple was constructed more than 30 years. In 1856 the basilica was consecrated in honor of St. Adalbert Praske and Virgin Mary's Rise. The sizes of church: -118 by 49 meters, dome height -71.5 meters. The main attractions of the temple: an altar image, Bakitsa's chapel, a treasury. From the observation deck under a dome the great view opens. In a crypt of cathedral, many eminent religious figures of the country, including the Archbishop József Mindszenty, who after suppression of the Hungarian revolt of 1956 was taking refuge in 1956-1971 in the territory of the American Embassy in Budapest, and then living in emigration in Vienna, are buried. Royal Palace of a Dynasty Arpadov. It is located near a basilica. It is constructed in the 10th century in Romance style. It was almost completely destroyed during the Turkish occupation. Restoration of the palace was conducted in the 30th years of the 20th century. Nowadays, the City Museum. Parish Church Visivaras. It is located in the quarter of Visivaras, the water city, which is on the bank of Danube under the castle hill. It is constructed in Baroque style by an award of Jesuits in 1738. Palace of the Archbishop. Also is in the quarter of Visivaras. It is constructed in 1882 in neoclassical style. Nowadays, the Museum of Christianity, in which collection masterpieces of medieval Hungarian and European masters. Széchenyi Square. The central square of the old city is surrounded with buildings of the 18th, 19th century in Baroque styles and Rococo. Maria Valery Bridge connects Esztergom to the Slovak city of Štúrovo. It is constructed in 1895, blown up in 1944. It is restored in 2001 at financial aid of the European Union. Palatinus, the artificial lake on the southern outskirts of the administrative territory of the city, appeared in the 1950th years on the place of the mine on extraction of brown coal. Tourism. Through Esztergom there passes Sultan's Track, the tourist walking route which is beginning in Vienna and coming to an end in Istanbul. Passes through territories of Austria, Slovakia, Hungary, Croatia, Serbia, Romania, Bulgaria, Greece, East Macedonia and Thrace, and Turkey. Population 2013 28550, 2014 28412, 2021 28026. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.